Dr. Ian. I'm Suzanne. I'm 39 and a working mom of 2. I'm not sure if this is what happens with motherhood, but I have so many things on my mind that I forget little things more and more. Just everyday things like putting my keys or phone down and finding them in obscure places. Are these lapses in memory normal? I worry that when I'm older, it could mean something more serious. What can be done to keep my brain in tip-top shape as I age?
You know what, Susanna, you are right to be worried about that. I feel the same way, too. I forget things all the time. Ladies, listen up. You have double the risk of developing dementia as the men in your life. But now I'm going to talk about how incorporating a few small changes into your daily routine can help win the battle against your aging brain. Scientist and journalist and best-selling author of The Genius Life, Max Lugavere, is joining us today. Welcome, Max. Thanks for joining us.
Dr. Ian, thank you so much for having me.
So, Max, your fight to empower people to keep their brain healthy is actually very personal. Explain what happened in your situation.
Yeah, so it was about 2010 that my life changed completely. My mother, who is the person who means more to me than anybody else on the planet, started to complain of brain fog and memory problems, and it had seemed almost as if she had, you know, at the youthful age of 58, a brain transplant with somebody 30, 40 years her senior. And we ultimately had to go around the country to reach a diagnosis, and it was in about the year 2011 that she was diagnosed with a rare form of dementia. I had a hunch that it had something to do with her diet. I'd always been interested in nutrition, and we know that diet is related to so many chronic conditions that people are being faced with today. And so my hypothesis was that diet could play a major role in the health of a person's brain. And when I started to look into the medical literature, I realized that I was right. So what I've done is I've highlighted what I've called the genius foods, and I wrote a whole book about this called Genius Foods. And basically in the book, I highlight the foods that have really stood out in the medical literature to me as being the most protective and the most sort of beneficial to brain health. They include wild fatty fish, dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli or Brussels sprouts, dark chocolate. Everybody loves dark chocolate, but dark chocolate is actually a powerful brain food. Extra virgin olive oil, berries, grass-fed beef, nuts. There's the eggs. Eggs are an incredible brain food. So these are the foods basically that I recommend that people buy essentially on loop. You know, there's this advice to eat everything in moderation. Well, I argue that if you basically buy the genius foods on loop, you're going to be giving your brain the best shot that it has, because these foods provide protector molecules that protect your brain as you age over the course of your life.
You know, I want to ask you a question about the chocolate. Is it any dark chocolate? I mean, what should we be looking for?
That's a really good question. So you want it to be dark chocolate. My preference is 72% cacao or higher, but this is very important, Dr. Ian. You want to look at the ingredients list of the chocolate that you're buying and make sure that the chocolate has not been Dutch processed, which is another way of saying processed with alkali. The problem from a health standpoint is that those production processes greatly degrade the healthiness of that chocolate, basically making that chocolate bar essentially empty calories. But if you don't see Dutch chocolate, Dutch processed or processed with alkali, then you know that you've got a winner.